When it happens to one of us, it happens to all of us. Hey everybody, Pastor Nicole here. Welcome to our Midweek Moment. So glad that you joined in. This past weekend, we were talking about family systems theory in light of the story of Rachel and Leah and their families, and how the dysfunction in one part of the family often ripples into other generations of the family. It got me thinking about how families work together and the use of family systems theory. After the service, one of my parishioners said that he had learned about family systems theory when he was in college, and they had given everybody different strings that were connected to one another, but they were all different colors. And they stood in a circle, and one person tugged on his string, and it affected everybody else's strings, right? They could all feel it. And then one person really ripped on it, and it really jarred everybody else. That's kind of how we can think about family systems theory, that when something happens to one person in the family, it affects everybody else. So for a very simple example, when somebody in your family gets sick, it affects everybody else in the family, right? Because meal times are going to look different, and cleaning the house is going to look different, and all of these things are going to change how your family functions for a little while until that person's feeling better. That is how an emotionally healthy family will respond to somebody being sick, right? There are also more extreme examples. So if somebody is a neglectful parent and doesn't take care of their children well, that is going to disrupt the system in a very negative way. But everybody in the family is going to feel that. It got me thinking about how we relate to one another through congregations or even in our broader culture. So when we think about a congregation, when the matriarch of the congregation passes away, everybody in the congregation feels that, or the majority of people feel that. And they're going to grieve through that loss, because the loss of that one person affects how everybody else relates to one another. And it affects how they feel. In our culture, I wonder if we might do better in thinking about how we are all related to one another and how we are all connected. So just because something terrible happens, something somewhere states away, doesn't mean that we can't react with compassion and kindness and love, offering prayer, offering financial support, whatever we might be able to do. Just because it happened far away doesn't mean that it doesn't affect us, because we are all a part of the system of being Americans. We are all a part of that large community of being an American. I think we've kind of gotten away from this idea. I think we've forgotten that we belong to one another, and that we are all a part of this country, and that we are called to take care of one another and to be there for one another, and that when one of us is suffering, we're all suffering. And I wonder what it might look like if we really made strides as a culture to start thinking that way, that we are all a part of the greater whole, and that when one part is going through a difficult time, we can all respond, because it does affect all of us, whether we realize it or not. So just some food for thought. I've just been thinking a lot about that, and I just wonder what it might be like if we changed and acted a little differently. So that's my challenge to you this week, is to think about how can you respond to the greater culture in a way that might be more helpful and serving others the way that Jesus calls us to. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.